So I have one of my bee yards tucked in, just in behind the trees here, beside the honey house. My wife's not too thrilled. She's allergic to bees, and she doesn't really want me to have bees right beside the house. But anyways, I have some here because, as you can hear, it is a terribly windy day. And this is a brilliant spot to have a bee yard because the wind just whips over top, and it's kind of like a nice little heat sink right in this yard. So this is kind of what I'm looking for when I set my yards out in the spring, is areas where when miserable weather hits, like today, like we're getting snow squalls all day today, the wind blowing 60 clicks, whatever. It's a terrible day today, but sunny. And I can take advantage of the sun by putting these bees in a calm spot, and they don't see the brunt of nature's wrath as much. So anyways, this is one of the reasons why I put my beehives in very particular spots, especially when I set them out in the spring. Well, that last post sure got you guys stirred up. My inbox is full, and I've got a whole range of comments from that, from supportive to argumentative to suggestive to downright angry and touching threatening. And you guys have just got to realize that this is just part of the greater conversation that we need to take. This isn't like this camp and that camp. I just feel it's absolutely ridiculous to treat situations and issues along party lines. It's just stupid. Yeah, we have to be able to approach these issues collaboratively. Collectively, all of us together have to be involved with the conversation as we can move this industry forward. And by looking at situations in our beehives, like our honeybee industry is experiencing a lot of change right now. We're being caught in this whole societal shift that's forcing agriculture to become more productive. We have technologies at our fingertips which we can utilize to be able to produce this massive amount of high productive food for us all to eat. All this investment is being put into agriculture, and beekeeping industry is seeing the direct negative result of that. And we're not being recognized by anybody. We are being directly influenced by this whole shift, and we're being forgotten, we're being left behind. And my whole messaging, my whole intent, my whole drive is just, to get some recognition behind that. And maybe we could focus a little bit of attention towards this issue within honeybees and invest some time and invest some money into focusing on trying to help our industry solve these situations we're in. We're not going to solve this huge structure that's been built around us, that's moving forward, that's been built by society itself. We can't change that. And if we're going to change that, it's going to be over a long period of time. Shifts don't happen overnight, right? Shifts happen over a long period of time. We need to be able to recognize the issues at home, and we need to be able to focus on what we can control as beekeepers. We need to be able to adapt to our changing realities. We need to tap into society, for one. And that's going to give me a whole hell of a lot of emails, I know, because there's a lot of beekeepers out there that are anti-government, right? And you got to get past that fact. Society is influencing this onto us, onto our industry. Society recognizes it. They want to help us. And this is how we tap into society, by tapping into the government that represents them, right? Government is society. So for them to be able to help us with our problems moving forward, we need government effort to help support us and help us drive our cause, help us adapt and solve our issues, right? We need to be able to tap into industry, agricultural industry specifically, as all these technologies are being implemented across our landscape, and they're directly influencing us as beekeepers. We need industry to recognize that and to be able to, contribute to the honeybee industry in recognition of all these changes and try to help us adapt to the changing landscape. Okay, there is a lot. Our honeybee industry contributes a lot to the economy. Like just in Manitoba here alone, we produce what is it like $34 million worth of honey revenue that goes directly into the Manitoba economy. That's a tremendous amount of, uh, of capital that we drop into our society. Um, Indirectly, we don't get paid for our pollination services here. It's just like a indirect benefit to the agricultural industry. We're looking at specifically canola growers. We rely heavily on the canola grower to provide us the flowers, which we collect this abundant crop, which we capitalize on. That pollination shows a benefit, and it's been suggested to me that we're looking at a dollar figure around 125 to 150 million dollars of increased production because of honeybees on our landscape, just simply pollinating these crops. That's a direct value that our honeybee industry does not see any benefit from. And maybe if these industries recognize that, and farmers, if they recognize, but by having bees available and within the fields, pollinating their fields, providing that direct increase to their crop yield, maybe, just throwing just a little bit of cash back towards our industry to help us solve some of our issues is warranted. That's this is the message I'm trying to push. This is what I believe in. I'm a farmer at heart, grain farmer, cattle farmer. I'm a beekeeper. I'm experiencing the issues on all fronts. It's a tough balance. And how do you balance the financial, the economic pressures of the grain farm, running very very tight margins, high capital, high investment, um, high production. You're focusing on the efficiencies to be able to glean those very narrow profits. It's almost an impossible situation the farmer's in right now. And to have the beekeeper bitch and complain about, losing production because of technology advances and such doesn't resonate very well. But for this whole system to work, for all of us to be able to move our agricultural economy forward, everybody has to be involved in this. We can't leave industries like beekeepers behind. We all have to move forward. We all have to be able to progressively adapt and make this structure work, so not only do the farmers benefit from it, but beekeepers can also benefit from it and contribute at the same time. If we can manage our landscape in a sustainable fashion, we'll keep our hives alive. It only helps aid your overall perception of sustainable efforts, and you can hinge on public trust.